Excited about the win, and moving forward and getting ready to go play Minnesota. So I'll take your questions.
There's also the North play today.
It was I think the takeaways were outstanding. Wasn't a lot good that I saw defensively, but the takeaways were outstanding, and that's the difference in the game. So, it's credit to our guys to go out and take the ball away. We talked about punching the ball out this week. We got a nice, top-down punch out. So, some of the things that we emphasized were good to see. All right. We still have to start faster defensively. So we got to figure that out. We had way too many mistakes early on in the game, and that has to be better.
Yeah, can you specify a little more? I mean,
just not being in the right spot, not getting the line properly, just sloppy crap.
And I know you just got asked last week about not blitzing more. Today, once it was apparent that their quarterback was kind of comfortable and running a lot, like, did you want to change your approach at a certain point on bringing pressure on him?
No, I wanted to play better. And look, we brought some pressures. Matter of fact, the Paulson's interception was on a pressure. So, we didn't get. It's easy to want to pressure, but it's harder to pressure when everything's, 2nd and 4, third and 3, 3rd and 2. Like that's not. You don't have a lot of pressures on your call sheet necessarily in those situations. So, you got to create a little bit, some longer down in distances, and you get a chance to, be a little bit more aggressive. So, but all that being said, 5 takeaways put us in good position, and we were able to get 24 points today, which is, enough to get the win.
Can you tell us a little bit about what went into the decision to accept the holding penalty in the second quarter that put them back to that 3rd and 12?
Yeah, look, I think in that situation it was going to be 4th and 2, and quite honestly, I thought they'd be aggressive there and go for it, and so I thought, well, we can back them up and hopefully get them to be more in a 4th and longer yardage situation, force them to have to kick the field goal. So it didn't work. We didn't get it done. So, but that was the thought process behind it.
What sort of happened at the end of the first half with just trying to score there toward the end and nothing really came out of it?
Well, there wasn't a lot of time there. So we had a couple of plays to try to get the ball down the field. Obviously the last play of the half. We're really trying to get the ball down the field, and I guess Derek got a little bit of pressure there and felt like he had to get rid of the ball, and so we didn't really get a chance to get the ball down the field. But look, it's there wasn't a lot of time there to get chunks of yardage, and so that's really what it was.
Dennis, how when you're playing that type of fourth quarter game, how huge is that play that Ike made to get the ball down inside the 3-yard line there?
Yeah, no, that was huge.
Yeah.
I mean, the field position there was huge. The way that the game gets played, on the 2 or 3 yard line is totally different than the way the game gets played on the 20-yard line. And so that was a huge play by him, backing them up. We were able to get off the field there and change the field position.
What do you think about Taysom's effort today? 3 touchdowns. I think he had 11 rushes and had 4 receptions.
Yeah, I thought he was really good. I thought our plan to utilize him was good, and I thought he was effective when we utilized him. And yet, look, they kind of had a little bit of a plan to try to, load it up to stop him. So, but it's just the stress of every single play that it could be the one that pops. And really at the end of the day, for us to be able to close the game out like that down there inside the red area was big.
When you were talking about field position, that decision to punt when it was 4th and 5 at 39 instead of maybe either going for it or the field goal, you decided to punt it. Did it ever cross your mind if you wanted to do either or?
Yeah, look, I mean, all those options go through your mind. You know, but, I felt like trying to pin them down. You know, obviously that's a long field goal, you know, and the percentages of making those aren't necessarily great. And so the thought process was, let's pin them down there in that situation and see if we can't, you know, create some field position, get the ball back in good field position for offense.
Is it telling you any pause that he just made one similar, like made a 55-yarder, or is it maybe a 1 or 2 yards, like two
Yeah,
over
look,
his
I
range?
mean, you know,
It seems like
every
it's-
minute of the game changes the thought process in terms of what you're thinking, you know, in terms of your aggressiveness, whether you're gonna go for it, kick the field goal, or try to punt them and pin them deep. Look, those are your three options. You know, and we chose to try to pin them down there.
Dennis, on the turnovers, especially the interceptions in the second half, how many of those were adjustments that you guys made, maybe at halftime, or guys you would see?
I think it was guys making plays, you know, which was awesome to see. You know, Paulson's interception was a great play by him. He played it exactly how, you know, he's supposed to play it. Marcus May's interception coming across the middle, hell of a play. Adebo's punch out was like, man, that was beautiful to see. You know, so I think it was really just our guys, you know, making plays. You know, first interception, I thought Paulson did a hell of a job on. You know, read it perfectly, was in the right spot, saw the quarterback, made a good break, and then went up and high pointed the ball. The run back sucked, but the interception was good.
Dennis, the offense was kind of a different story than the defense. Started pretty hot in the first half.
Yeah,
Yeah. Were you disappointed with the consistency, I guess?
Well, look, I mean, I think overall, both sides of the ball, I would have liked to have seen us be a little bit more consistent. I thought offensively, you know, in the first half, I thought we moved the ball really well. And there was consistency in what we were doing in the first half. Not quite as good, you know, in the second half. So, look, it's something that we gotta go back and, you know, evaluate the tape, make the corrections that we need to make, and then move forward from that.
And,
But I have seen more consistency out of the offense in the last month, you know, and so, that's been good to see.
And with the defense, what keeps happening on the quarterback scrambles? Is that something you guys have to change your approach, or are those examples of the missed assignments you were talking about
Well,
earlier?
yeah, there's a way that you have to rush a quarterback, you know? And if everybody just tries to go and win their one-on-one battle, all right, then there's no structure to how you're rushing this guy, and that's how quarterbacks escape. And so we have to do a better job of understanding the rush plan and do a better job of making sure that we're all working together in the rush plan, so when the quarterback does try to escape, all right, then we have somebody there to get him down. So that has to be better, because that stinks right now.
Was there a correction made on that? It seemed better than.
Yeah, we talked about it.
I know it's been a bit of a broken record asking about what the defense does in the second half, but when it comes to those halftime adjustments, is it the same thing over and over again, or what's the difference in how you make the defense better in the second half?
Halftime adjustments are over freaking rated. All right, stop. Okay, play better, coach better, execute, do your job. That's what it's about. Okay, so that's what the communication was at halftime. You know, we didn't come in there and just change the whole freaking game plan. All right, we haven't done it any week up to this point. Okay, what we've done is we've called better calls and we've executed better. And we need to start doing that early on.
With Paulson's instincts, what are you seeing there that puts him in good position to like get the ball? Is it something he's done better the last few weeks?
Well, look, I think he's always had good instincts. You know, 2 years ago, I think, he had 3 interceptions a couple of years ago, you know, not as much last year. Last year he's fighting through some injuries and stuff. He's healthy this year, you know, so, I think, you know, overall from a secondary standpoint, I think our guys have done a nice job of attacking the football.
Yeah, the last couple of weeks, seems like the penalties have come way down. Has that been an emphasis? Have you seen guys kind of adjust their technique a little bit?
I think probably a little bit of both, you know, a little bit of both, so, you know, I think our guys, from a technique standpoint, have been doing a little better.
Chris Olave said earlier this week that, you know, he needed like one bounce back game, one big game, got to the end zone today. How nice was that?
Yeah, it was awesome to see. He made a great catch in the end zone. Was a huge play for us, a big confidence builder for him, I think. You know, so it was good to see him, you know, come back and respond, and yet I think there's still more out there for him. You know, and so we're gonna keep pushing him and keep pushing him to get the best out of him. And I think there's more there, and I'm excited about seeing it.
There's been a lot of sort of question marks around him from outside. Can you speak a little bit to the maturity that he's shown?
Yeah, look,
around
he's
him?
an extremely mature kid. He works his tail off. I'm glad he's on our team. I think he's gonna be a big part of what we do as we move forward. He's an explosive weapon, and he's gonna be a big part of our football team.
Coach, were you surprised at all by maybe the lack of separation that we saw with some of the receivers today, or were you surprised by?
Look,
the defense?
I guess I have to go back and kind of look a little bit and see, you know, kind of where we were at, but you're talking about like us offensively being able to create some separation. I mean, I thought we did some nice things in the passing game, you know. So, but without really seeing the tape, I probably decline to comment too much on that.
Dennis, overall, how do you think the quarterback did as a picture? I mean, Division II, he came from not too many.
Way better than I wanted him to. Look, I thought he did, I mean, really, honestly, with the exception of the turnovers, I thought he played really well. I thought he operated their offense extremely well. Obviously, you could see him getting to some checks and adjustments on the line of scrimmage based on what we were doing and what we were showing. He looked like he was poised in the pocket, never really panicked, took off when he needed to. So I was highly impressed with what I saw out of him.
Dennis, what do you think about Taysom joining Frank Gifford and making some history today?
Yeah, I don't know what was the history, tell me the history.
10 touchdowns, receiving, passing, running, first player to do it since Frank Gifford.
I think that's pretty impressive, right? I mean, half the guys in that locker room would have no idea who Frank Gifford is, so. I think that's pretty impressive.
With that, the touchdown pass from to Juwan back in the end zone, there was kind of that counter punch that you talked about a lot with that package. What did you like about the execution of that play in that moment?
Well, look, I think everybody executed their job on that play. You know, we're actually trying to get Bink a touchdown in the flat there. And they did a nice job, but he actually took two in coverage, which, you know, allowed Juwan to get open in the back of the end zone. Taysom went through his progression, found Juwan, and that's what, like when you execute and you do the things that you're supposed to do, you know, generally you get good results. All right, guys, thanks.
You have Taysom Hill and Jordan.